welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back with an interesting video for you. Today I want to talk about getting some water in a survival situation, and more specifically I want to show you the effectiveness of the Sawyer filters. Now, I know that you can see that I'm getting a lot of dirty water here and there's full of debris and everything else, but what I want to show you is how effective these Sawyer filters are. So you see I'm filling up my bucket here. Hopefully you can see that. I'm just getting a little bit of water. Nothing too crazy. You can obviously see that the color of the water is terrible. We're going to change that at least a little bit. So there is the water that I just collected, folks. Pretty nasty looking. Here's the dirty water. Here is my bandana that I'm going to use to pre-clean the water, pre-filter the water into this pouch. Once I have it in that pouch, I'm going to use this Sawyer MINI to filter the water, and it'll eventually go into this container, and then when I'm all done I will use this syringe to backwash my Sawyer filter. So when it comes to pre-filtering, what I like to do is I like to take this rag and I like to make sure that I have 4 layers of material. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. I like to filter it through 4 layers of material. That's not really necessary completely, it's just something that I personally like to do. It works out good for me. I'm going to take this squeeze pouch and I'm going to slowly open it up just like this. I'm going to set it right down here. Now I'm going to take this rag and I'm going to make a small divot so that the water can come through this area. Slowly start pouring my water through the pre-filter. This will take a second because what it has to do is it has to wet the cloth down here, because this cloth is dry right now, but once this cloth gets wet I'll start getting flow out of this. So it just takes a second. I'm kind of milking it with my fingers a little bit. There you go, you see how it's starting to seep. What this will do, this pre-filter step, this will really help with making sure that my filter, my Sawyer filter, doesn't get any added debris or anything added to it that'll make it gum up prematurely. So if I have a rag and I have the ability to do this, it'll help me a lot in the end. My filter will last a lot longer. There you can see my flow rate picked up a little bit. This takes a little bit of time, but you got to be patient. You got to remember that the Sawyer is going to do a lot of work. You can obviously see that the water still has a color to it. Now we can't drink the water after pre-filtering. We have to actually run it through a Sawyer and get it completely filtered. The dividends that this will pay off in the end, believe me, it's worth it. It's worth it to go through this step. It's worth it to take your time and do this. Now you can see that my flow kind of picked up again. And as I get new beads, I kind of push them down so that I can kind of tell them where I want them to go. So they'll all come together. Hopefully you can see that. The water's still discolored, but it's a lot cleaner than it was. And it'll be even better once it goes through this filter. All this does is helps give the Sawyer a better, an easier job, I guess you could say, and it'll keep it from getting plugged up too soon. This water is just rainwater that I found in a low spot. It's important to make sure that you're not getting water where there might be oil or chemicals or something like that, because this Sawyer is not going to do anything for chemicals or oils or anything like that, or metals. So the water that I got was just from a puddle in the middle of the dirt. Bottle's getting a lot lighter, so I'm almost done. It's about done, almost. I can feel it, it's really light. Okay, so I would go ahead and say that the pre-filtering step is done. Let's take a look at this and see what kind of stuff we caught. That's the stuff that it stopped, that it held out. So that's pretty cool. We'll set that aside. Now from here, I'm going to take a look at this Sawyer. You see it has a flow arrow. We want to go with the dirty water, and we're going to put the flow, putting good water out. So I have my container here. I don't want to get these containers mixed up. Obviously this one here is dirty, so I'm going to set that aside. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start flowing the water through my filter, and I'm going to mist the bottle for just a second. I want to get the flow started. There you go, see that filter going? I'll give it a few seconds and then I'll introduce it to the bottle. From here, I'm just going to slowly squeeze this pouch. And it doesn't have to be like some big old gorilla squeeze or anything like that. Just need to squeeze it a little bit. Just squeeze it to the point where you get flow through. If it feels like you're squeezing it too hard, something ain't right, folks. You should not have to squeeze it like all crazy. Like right now, I'm not even squeezing it at all. That's gravity alone just dripping. Sometimes you can do that. You can set the filter, you know, you can put it in a tree or something, let it hang. But I usually squeeze it a little bit to help increase its flow. So I get the water a lot faster. Now these Sawyer filters are excellent filters. They take out 99.99%. which is the tightest tolerance I've seen on a filter, especially something this small. When the water comes out of this filter, it's 100% safe to drink at that point. Now I'm going to get a little bit more bite on the bag here so I can continue to put a little bit of pressure. All we're doing by squeezing the bag is just pressurizing it mildly so that it'll increase our flow, our filter flow. You don't, again, I can't stress it enough, you don't have to squeeze it like gorilla hard or anything like that. This filter is a lot faster than the old ceramic filters that you used to have to pump, like the old MSR Mini Works that I had. And that one was not a 0.1 micron filter. This is a very tight tolerance filter. Okay, sometimes you'll be in the middle of your flow and you'll need a little more air. So I'll just pump a little air in there, make sure this is good and tight, put the water back in, and let's continue. Otherwise you'll create like a vacuum. Here we go, we're going to go ahead and finish. That's it. That's all the water we got. So now I'm going to go ahead and take this syringe, make sure the syringe is clean. I'm going to stick it in there and I'm going to get a syringe full of water. Set that aside, put the lid on temporarily. So now I have the filter, or excuse me, the syringe full of filtered water. I'll put this squeeze bag away and I'll get that original container And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to backwash this filter. So here's my flow rate. See that? Flow goes this way. When I backwash, I want to go the opposite way. So I'm going to put the syringe right here. Set this down a little lower here. And I have the lid on here so I don't accidentally splash in there. And I'm going to just burst this water in very hard right into here. Boom. Now you can see, look at all that dirt and stuff that came out from pre-filtering. Now if you want to clean this off a little bit and get one more thing of filtered water, from the second that the tip touches the water, you want to only be sucking. Don't accidentally push the syringe down or you'll dirty this whole thing of water. So we're going to go with the second syringe full, lids on, move this down. We're going to go against the direction of flow. One hard burst. And you can backwash this filter as many times as you want. You can do this 10 times if you want to. But you can see all that dirt and debris that came out of the filter. So now, this is the water, what it looks like before. This is what it looks like after. And that's the stuff that came out during the backwash. This is before, this is after. And this is the backwash water. You can see how much that filter held. That is a lot. This water, even though it's still slightly discolored, it's a completely different water than what this was. And this water right here is 100% safe to drink. So now you're probably wondering, what does this water taste like? Can you really truly drink it? Yes, you can. Honestly, it doesn't taste like much. There's a very slight dirt taste to it, but not much at all. It's actually excellent. If I was to drink this, it would be terrible, but this is good. This water is completely safe to drink at this point, but if you're still one of those people that's very cautious, overly cautious, you can boil this and then drink it. You can boil it. You can filter it again. This is just the first filter. You can run this through another filter if you choose to. Say you had a second Sawyer Mini and you use the one for the dirt and then the other one for the clean water. If you were to run this through a secondary filter that's all it ever saw was clean water like this, the chances are good that you'd get even clearer water than what you have right now. So folks, I want to say thank you for joining me today on my video on checking out the Sawyer Mini. This is a great water filter and it works excellent. That water's, there's nothing wrong with it. I hope you got some good useful information out of this video. Please feel free to leave your comments down below. Like this video, share this video, and if you like the content that you see on my channel, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And until next time folks, have a beautiful day and get out there and filter some water. Please don't forget to take a look at the description box down below on the video, because I will put a link down there to where you can find one of these Sawyer filters. They're around $20 for the Mini. Talk at you later.